What the hell are you doing? Have you lost your mind? Help me, Jim. Take me home. Bones, we are. We are home. Then perhaps it's not too late. Climb the steps, Jim. Climb the steps of Mount Saleya. Mount Saleya? Bones, Mount Saleya is on Vulcan. We're home. On Earth.
Remember.
Admiral, docking is completed. Starfleet Commander Morrow is on his way for inspection.
Uhura, get the medics down here. Get them now.
We are live with DeForest Kelley. DeForest, welcome to QVC.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here.
Back here
again.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
We have several clips from Star Trek films, which I think shows your versatility as an actor. Last hour I was talking about the fact that you distinguished probably every major television show in the 60s, from Bonanza to 77 Sunset Strip to Route 66. Right. Silent Service, which is always a favorite of mine.
I thought you were going to say silent movies.
No.
You scared me for a while, Steve.
Well, it's great to have you here. We have, I think, a banner opportunity for anybody who is a Star Trek fan. With you sitting right here, a chance to get your autographed plaque. This is a limited edition plaque. Only 2,500 pieces ever created. Each one will be individually numbered and each one individually signed by DeForest Kelley. They are wearing the genre of uniform from Star Trek VI, The Undiscovered Country. The plaque measures 15 by 12 inches, and that's a great photograph, DeForest.
Thank you.
Nicely done. Now, when you first heard about Star Trek, you were doing Gene Roddenberry's pilot Police Story.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess it was. I'm trying to put things in order. Gene told me a long time ago, which, he said, Dee, he said, I have two properties. He said, one is a science fiction show, and he said, there's a character in there. He said that is this alien with pointed ears, and has a kind of a greenish cast to him. But he says, terrific role. And I said, what's the other one? He said, it's High Noon. And I had been doing a number of Westerns. I said, I'll wait for High Noon. So,
didn't want to be...
But I was very pleased that Leonard got it, because he made a wonderful Spock. But he screened the first pilot for me. Before I did, I think it was Police Story for him. Mm-hmm. And he wanted me, but the networks would not go for me, because I'd been playing a lot of bad guys. You know, I was the clean-cut killer, you know. The
That's
guy
right.
That would
Gangster or Western.
Smile at you, but he'd kill you. Yeah. So the networks couldn't buy that. So anyhow, he screened it for me, and he said, Dee, he said, what did you think of it? And I was not a science fiction fan at all, but I was completely fascinated by this thing. And I told him, I said, Gene, I think it's going to be the biggest hit or the biggest miss that God ever made. Mm-hmm. And so it turned out to be a bit of both.
Yes.
Then later he put me in Police Story. And in that I portrayed a criminologist.
Lab Chief Green.
Yeah, you got it. You do your homework, don't you? And the network saw that, and they said, well, maybe he can play a doctor. So I started with the series, but I was not in either pilot. They made two pilots.
That's right. That's right. The first two. You were actually the third doctor. It was Dr. Piper and Dr. somebody else, and then
That's right.
Dr. McCoy.
Yeah, I came in the back door.
Well, your character, as it evolved on the show, was the perfect bridge between Kirk, who was raw gut emotion, and Spock, who was, well, who kept trying to convince us he was nothing but logic, and on the surface was nothing but logic. But you played that intermediary so well.
You know, when he screened it for me, I saw John Hoyt do this scene with the captain in it, and I was very taken by that one sequence. And I felt that if the doctor, I told Gene, I said, gee, that could be a hell of a role. I said, if, you know, he's expanded upon. But I was pleased to get it, and of course I thought they were never going to expand it for a while. But then the fans were good enough to start writing in, particularly when the little spat started with Spock, you know, and he became more popular.
That was a wonderful feud, and if you recall it, I think it came to a wonderful culmination, and we got to see the real love-hate in Requiem for Methuselah with James Daly.
Yes.
That final scene, and that when you just rail Spock for not being able to enjoy.
Well, the interesting thing was that underneath, deeply, McCoy rather admired Spock.
Yes.
And Spock rather admired McCoy. But never the twain shall meet, you know, they would never realize that. It made for an interesting combination.
It did. It was a chemistry, and I think people look at Star Trek now and say, you know, there were so many great TV series that came out of the 60s. I mean, 77 Sunset Strip was a wonderful.
Yes, it was. Good show.
And it was a good cast, but there were a lot of stars in 77 Sunset Strip, and whenever the episode was about one person, and one person in particular, that person almost precluded all the other roles. The way the scripts were written on Star Trek, you had a marvelous role in For the World is Hollow and I Have Touched the Sky. That was powerful stuff, DeForest. I mean,
Thank you.
You're welcome. But everybody else was still there. I mean, it was very much still the ensemble cast, just with the focus just pointed slightly toward you.
That's right. That's right. And I thought City on the Edge of Forever was a wonderful show.
Yes.
Which was one of my favorites. I thought it had it was such a great ensemble piece again.
Indeed.
And I think that there was an extra scene shot for that was never used.
Really?
They had the idea that McCoy, who was upstairs, Joan Collins,
Yes.
was also falling for her. And so they shot a brief scene that indicated a moment that McCoy was shaken whether she exits. She asked him how he's feeling, this and that. And as she leaves, McCoy looks at her and he says, "You've got the biggest eyes I've ever seen," or something like that, you know. And she looks at him and there's a hole there, which they thought, they never decided not to use him.
Oh boy, that would have been powerful.
Yeah,
That
I
would have
thought
added
so
a whole
too.
nother element to it.
thing was
Yeah.
going on.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Boy, it is great to have you here. We have so much to learn from you. Right now, the autographed limited edition DeForest Kelley plaque, $117. That's C8891. And now, just in this hour alone, hundreds of you have dialed in for the soundboard communicator pin. This would have made life a lot easier in the original track.
Yes, it would have, yeah. That would have been a lot easier for all of us.
Not have to carrying the little Remington shaver.
Flipping it out, yes.
But this is an actual digital recording. In fact, I'll take this off so I can get it close to my microphone. It's an actual digital recording of the sound made by the communicators on the Next Generation. And it will go for about 10,000 times, and there are user replaceable batteries. A couple of shows ago, I was wondering about this, and give you an idea of the dedication of a fan. There's some fan out there somewhere who actually hit this baby 10,000 times in the last year or so, and wore the battery out and popped the back and took it into a photo store, and they gave him a new battery.
Is that
We
right?
bought a new battery and popped it back in.
Well, that's interesting, isn't it?
So
You can do that, you know. We have a little bird that somebody gave us, one of those phony little birds, you know. And we got a great kick out of it. Every time you touched anything, it would peep. And it finally, the little peeper peeped out. And a friend of ours came in, this girl, Chris, and she said, "I can get a battery for that." And I said, "You can? Where?" She said, "Leave it to me, I'll go get it." So in about 30 minutes, she came back, and she had gotten a little wristwatch battery and put in it. And thanks to Chris, the bird is peeping, and we're all happy again.
That's great. That's great. By the way, this will be the last time you will ever see this pin at the introductory price. If you were considering it as a Christmas gift, this would, not to pressure you, but this would be the time. $28.57. Battery is included, like I said, good for about 10,000 dweebles, or whatever you want to call that sound. J16144. It attaches with a very powerful rare earth magnet. so you won't have to put a hole in your lapel, in your shirt, in your jacket, wherever you decide to wear this. And as you dial in for this, DeForest, there'll be a lot of folks who will want to talk to you. May we take some phone calls?
Why, certainly.
This will be fun. Hi, welcome to QVC. You're the first person to be live tonight with DeForest Kelley.
Hi, this is Diana from Newark, Delaware.
Hi, Diana.
Hello, Diana. Let me introduce you to DeForest.
Hi, DeForest.
Hi again.
Yeah. And dialing in for what tonight, Diana?
J16144.
What made that the right purchase this evening?
Well, my husband's a fan of Star Trek. He has all the movies. And every time he watches it and he sees one of those, he says, that'll be neat. That would be neat to have. So I thought I'd get him this.
It'll be fun for him. You know, I imagine it'd be quite a conversation piece. You know,
Yeah.
you walk in.
Yeah, I think so.
We have a little Italian restaurant down the road here called Antonio's. One of the waitresses, her name is JoJo, and I mention her a lot with this because she's the first person outside of QVC I ever saw wearing this, and she wears it constantly. It's just a wonderful piece of jewelry
Sure.
on her
It's
uniform.
attractive. Very attractive.
So your husband will have a lot of fun with it.
I hope so.
That's great. Now, are you also a fan or becoming a fan because
Oh,
of
no,
this?
we all love Star Trek.
Oh, great.
We have two kids, 22 and my son's 19, and we sit around the TV and we watch videotapes of it and watch it when it comes on. Even on the weekends when it comes on, we watch it.
Oh, great.
Of course, they're reruns, but we watch it.
Now, what do you find, Diana, holds you onto Star Trek? What's the real attraction?
I just think it's neat to think that this could happen someday, or, you know, I just think it's a real neat show.
Well, you know, I don't even think the cast or even Gene Roddenberry realized how prophetic it was going to be when you realize that Apple has just released a device called the Newton, which is pretty darn close to a tricorder. I mean, it's the next generation of Newton probably will be a tricorder. So to realize that back in '67 they knew all about that.
Exactly, exactly. And who knows? Someday we might be up there in spaceships.
That's true. That's we kind of already are. We also now have reusable spaceships. You know, they don't just throw them away now every time they
Right.
use them.
Oh,
so
that's right.
with the shuttle, so it's
Yeah.
the show had a lot of foresight, and especially into the human condition too, which was the thing that grabbed me. It wouldn't have mattered what the scenario was, whether it had been Star Trek or whether it was a Western or a war drama. The human relationships and the topics that it covered, I think, were just so meaningful.
Well, that too, and I always, the appeal to me from a science fiction aspect of it was that the idea of these people who are caring for each other and going about their work in a very professional way, in a very humanistic attitude, framed in this very bizarre world.
Yes, very much
And
so.
I think it was the playing of the chemistry and playing it honestly and with this feeling of carrying an emotion and concern going on with all of the stuff going on about it.
Yes.
It was a magnet for it.
I think that's a good way to look at it. That really is. Diana, thank you so much for the call. Enjoy giving the pin to your husband.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
That's the thing we're noticing in the next generation. Of course, I think it's rather apropos to have you sitting here, you the first member of the original cast to have been on the pilot episode of The Next Generation.
Yes. I did that cameo, and I was walking down the hall at Paramount, and Dorothy Fontana called me in, and she said, "Come here a minute, Dee," and I walked in, and she showed me, said, "Read this scene." And I read the scene, and of course I knew what she had in mind. And I had some doubts about it because we were doing the motion picture, and I didn't know whether or not, you know, it was going to be an infringement on what side. But later, Gene Roddenberry called me, and I had lunch with him, and he told me how badly he wanted me to do it. And I went home, and I was talking to Carolyn, my wife, and we were talking about the influence that Roddenberry had on my career. You know, I haven't done 333 and Police Story and then this and all, and thought it would be a nice thing to do. So in the course of the conversation, he said, Dee, I don't know whether we'll be able to afford you or not. So I went back to him and told him, I said, Gene, I said, I'll do it.
All right.
But I said, I want to do it for scale in order to thank you for all of the goodness that you've bestowed upon my life. And that's the way I did that.
That's very nice.
And I enjoyed doing it, and I received a lot of mail concerning it. And now then, I'm glad that I did it, because people look at me now. I was 137 years old, I believe in that.
Yes. Yes.
And they say you look much younger in person. And I appreciate that.
That's great. 130, and looked, actually in the show, looked every moment of it. Right now, the soundboard communicator pin, like I said, good for about 10,000 of those before you pop in the battery. Over 1,000, counter's a little behind, over 1,000 of these have been ordered so far. J16-144, as you can imagine, phone lines very, very busy. It's $28.57. This is absolute last call tonight for the introductory price. And again, if you're on the line, please stay on the line. Still to come, your choice of next generation videos. These are uncut, unedited, probably the most viewer requested episodes from the next generation. $14.50, that's E6998. And the next generation uncut card sheets, 2 complete uncut sheets. That's the complete Skybox set, $35.50, C10-885.
What do you got there?
A pewter reliant.
Oh, that's...
These are becoming quite the rage.
Oh, I've seen that.
Among collectors.
Yeah, those are cute.
We have a whole series of them. In fact, tonight we're going to be offering a couple of new ones, including the Excelsior, which first one under command of James B. Sicking in the Star Trek films. This one goes about 2 inches or so across, $17.33, the anniversary price. Now, the anniversary prices will only be good in this particular show. C9437, the ship where Commander Sulu was a crew member, later commandeered by Khan Noonien Singh, and became, I think, one of the finest, if not the all-time finest example of ship-to-ship combat. We finally realized, because we had always heard, in the original series, we'd heard about the incredible power of the phaser, and how a phaser could lay waste to a planet if it wanted to, a ship-mounted phaser. And we saw these 2 ships toe-to-toe, slugging it out with no deflectors up, and the awesome damage.
Yes, wise.
Frightening.
Excellent.
Frightening stuff. But if you're a collector of these, keep in mind there'll be other ones in the show, and we do have the complete line available, not all tonight, but in the different shows. And we go back to the phones again and say hi. Welcome to QVC. You're live with DeForest Kelley.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi, did you hear me say hello?
Yes, yes, Mr. Kelley. Hello.
What's your name? Where do you live, please?
My name is Carol. I live in Stanwood, Michigan.
Welcome, Carol. You enjoying the show so far?
Oh, you bet. We always do.
Good. Good. Glad to hear that. Any favorite Star Trek episodes or movies?
Gee, all of them.
that's kind of the universal answer.
Yeah, that takes care of that, doesn't it?
I'm a Trekkie. I'm not a Trekker. I'm a Trekkie way back from the original. And I brought my son up on it. Oh. So we're both, we love it.
Oh, glad to hear that. And dialing in for what tonight?
I ordered each one of us a tricorder.
That's fun.
Yeah.
That's really fun.
Yes. That looks like it'll be a lot of fun. But you have to send me back to the operator when I'm through, because I was waiting and the DeForest Kelley plaque came up, and I want that too.
Oh, yeah. It's a great night. I always say this. Whenever we have the guest here, I think it makes it that much more special to pick up on the autographed item.
That's it, exactly. I'm really excited to be able to talk to Mr. Kelley.
Well, I'm excited to be able to talk to you, Carol.
Well, I'll tell you, I've been your fan forever. You were talking about the Westerns?
Yes.
I've seen you in the Westerns, and we love Westerns, too. And it's such fun to see you in those, and then to see you in Star Trek.
It is.
Thank you very much. I'm glad that you still appreciate those old ditties that I did.
Oh, yes.
Well, they were excellent. You did, I think, one of the most definitive gunfights at the OK Corral. Was that 57 for, was that for Paramount?
That was for Paramount. I did it originally on a show that Walter Cronkite narrated called You Are There.
Oh, my gosh.
And
Yes.
I played Ike Clanton, the heavy in it. And so Hal Wallace at Paramount saw it and wanted me for a gunfight there. But I was doing another movie, another Western, called Tension at Table Rock, and it conflicted. Then he decided he wanted me in it anyhow, and when I finished, I dovetailed, and I went in and did Morgan Earp. I had rather have had the heavy part, but I couldn't do it. Now then, we fade out, and we come back in, and I'm on Star Trek.
Spectre of the Gun.
Along comes Spectre of the Gun.
Yeah.
And I'm doing Gunfight at OK for the third time. And as I tell everybody when I go to a convention, the next time I do it, I'm going to do it as a musical.
I love it. That's great. Carol, good call tonight. Thank you. I'm glad we could share some time together.
Thank you.
Thanks.
And let's have that next movie, please.
Well, we hope so.
I hope so, too. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
Carol.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. At the moment, the anniversary price, $17.33, C9437.
Have some water.
Still available, the Romulan warbird pewter statue. That beautiful, striking detail they get in the pewter. Same kind of detail you just saw in the Reliant. $35.50, C10025. And the United Federation of Planets insignia etched into a fine crystal paperweight. Brand new as of tonight, $70. I'm sorry, this did sell out the last time I was on the air. It did sell out. C7926, $70. This is brand new. This is an autographed comic book. It's kind of nice to see in the world of science fiction, the collectibles are sort of cross-pollinating. Comics kind of coming in, especially
They are.
the ones dedicated to Star Trek. This one, a Next Generation comic, which is a fascinating retelling of the alternate universe tale. The Next Generation crew pops into, if not the same alternate universe you popped in, was it Mirror Mirror?
I think it was Mirror Mirror. Yes.
The same one you popped into, and they meet their antithesis in that universe, but the Borg also get involved. Now, this comic book, brand new. Keep this in mind. It is signed by Michael Jan Friedman, who is a fine author in his own right. I mean, done a lot of the, done scripting, done some books, and also now doing the work with the comic. And Peter Krause, who did the pencil work. The original penciling, really nice. It's a double-sized issue, double-sized, autographed for only $23. It's, and death shall have no dominion, is the story, and just nicely done. A real Comet's Tale kind of ride, action adventure-wise. So good story to read, and then put it aside because you'll have the two autographs. Only 5,000 of these ever created, a QVC exclusive, C10-841. And as you dial in for this, we head back to the phones and say, hi, welcome to QVC. You're on the air with DeForest Kelley.
Hi, I'm Christian from Bartlett, Illinois.
Hello, Christian.
Hi, Christian.
Hello, Mr. Kelley. I have been a long time. It's wonderful to be able to talk to you.
Thank you.
I have watched you from the very beginning up through all the movies, and I especially loved the part when you were 137 years old. I thought you did a great job.
Thank you.
And I'm just hoping that maybe you'll do another little cameo or a little more than a cameo with Brent Spiner, because I thought the two of you together just meshed really well.
I love working with Brett. He's a wonderful guy, and we had a lot of fun together, and it was a very enjoyable. In fact, that whole group on The Next Generation are a wonderful group of people, and I think that Rick Berman has done a magnificent job in holding that thing together, and with Deep Space Nine. I'm very fond of all of it. We had a great time. We went to New York and did an MCI commercial, and Jonathan Frakes was with us.
I know.
And they're an enjoyable group, and I'm glad you feel that way about them.
Well, I'd love to see you also help out Dr. Bashir a little bit.
I could give her a few pointers, I'll tell you that.
The thing that always amazed me was the amount of power that a doctor has in Starfleet. I mean, on a starship, you're damn near omnipotent.
That's right. That's right. Well, in the original episode, I had a terrible showdown with Kirk. You know, if you remember, I was about to fire him on the bridge or something.
Right.
I've forgotten what the circumstances were, but that was the one thing McCoy had. He was the one guy that he could get rid of anybody if he disagreed with what they were doing or how they were behaving. And don't get me all upset and excited about it.
Exactly. Well, Christian, I'm glad we could have you on the air tonight. You're dialing in for what?
I got the communicator soundboard pin, and I needed the tricorder.
Oh, great. I'll tell you, the tricorder, I have a little story to tell about the tricorder. The Philips Corporation, back in the late 60s, they invented the cassette, the audio cassette. And their cassette recorder looks so much like your tricorder, I had to have one. I went out, you know, it was like the #1 Christmas gift that year. And I was like the happiest 15-year-old in South Jersey. I mean, I'm walking around with this thing. I had no idea what I was going to record, but it looked real cool.
I bet it did.
So it's kind of nice that now you can actually have an actual, you know, at least an actual replica of the tricorder.
Well, it's kind of fun to have something like that. And, of course, this is the second communicator soundboard I've had. The first one I wear on my lab jacket at work, and, of course, when I lean against the doorway, it goes off, and patients get tickled.
I'll bet that's a nice conversation piece for you.
It is, definitely.
Great. Christian, thank you for the call tonight.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Right now, brand new, the Next Generation #50 autograph comic, autographed by Michael Jan Friedman, who's the writer, and Peter Krause, the penciler. Both autographs individually numbered, only 5,000 created, $23.
This is QVC.
The space station on which the Genesis project was created, Regula 1. And that was the, were you, I think you were on the away party that discovered the carnage in the station after Khan had been there.
Yes, that's right.
And then, of course, transported down into the bowels of the planet, so to speak, with the Genesis device. This, for the pewter collector, this is a banner opportunity. $12.93 for C9445, about 2 inches in length. And who would have known? I mean, when you shot the original series, the episode Space Seed, as a member of the cast, was there anything particularly special about the episode that
the only thing that I can recall about it is that I was the one who had the confrontation with Ricardo in the show, but it was indicated that his dislike for Walter, I've forgotten exactly what the situation was, but Walter never knew him. He wasn't on the show.
He wasn't on the
time.
show. That's right. That's right.
I was the guy that had, you know, the thing when I told him, you know, if he would, I would squeeze his carotid artery or something of that nature. It was some kind of a thing.
That was the thing about your character, and I think one of the reasons. Now, this is to an absolute neophyte in the world of acting, but as a fan, as I watched Leonard McCoy develop, you could see your roots in playing bad guys. Because now, correct me if I'm wrong, and I've always wanted to ask you this, and this to me is a banner opportunity. Dr. Leonard McCoy was dedicated absolutely to the Hippocratic Oath. I mean, a healer. But if you threatened him, or especially the people he loved and cared for, he'd phaser you in a heartbeat.
That's right. You'd become a killer.
Yeah. You had that edge about you.
Yeah, he had that thing down underneath, the feeling about those he loved and who he cared for, and he was very strong about that. But it did not interfere with his everyday way of life, so to speak. Spock almost brought him to murder a number of times.
Yes, I recall. Well, that was so brilliantly played out too. I mean, you and Leonard, that wonderful byplay you had.
Well, we had a great time doing the show together. We enjoyed it.
You could tell.
All came about, I think, rather accidentally. I don't know. We were doing a scene in one of the episodes where he shows a little upsetness with me. And the director, and I've forgotten who was directing it or what episode it was, why, they did a shot of Leonard showing his disgust with me, and they reversed the camera and got my reaction to him. And the fans picked up on this small thing immediately.
I'll be.
And then they started to write for it.
Something that simple.
Yeah.
Lots more to talk about. Right now, though, we go to the QVC Lucky Number Machine. Time for this hour's drawing.
A new 4-digit lucky number is drawn every hour on the QVC cable shopping channel. Every time that number matches either the first 4 digits or the last 4 digits of your QVC membership number, and you notify us by phone that you have a match before the next lucky number is drawn, your QVC account will be credited with 10 shopper dollars, and you will also be automatically entered in all 5 of the next day's $1,000 QVC shopping spree drawings. If you don't already have a membership number, get yours now. It's completely free, no purchase necessary, and there's absolutely no obligation. Just call toll-free 1-800-345-1515, and a QVC membership number will be assigned to you on the phone.
Right now, 8034, 8034, current QVC lucky number. Wrapping things up, anniversary prices only good for this show, $12.93 for C9445. And still available, you haven't seen them yet, anniversary price on the Star Trek VI photo mugs. Nice shot of the cast. A pair of these for $22.48. And a set of 7 figurines from the Next Generation. Now, we made a very special arrangement with the Playmates people. We got the first 10,000 all sequentially numbered. You would have the devil to pay to try and go out and get sequential numbering on any of these. I mean, people are paying toy store managers for the right of going into their inventory to try and get numbers that are close. These are all sequentially numbered, and we have all 10,000 of them. All 7 figurines are $99. That's C7867. And still available tonight, I think just a banner night to get this, the DeForest Kelley limited edition autographed plaque. $117, only 2,500 of them ever created. My last guest was telling me his difference. He's the Trekkie that Gene hired, Richard, and I'm losing the last name now. Well, anyway, he's an expert on Trek, and he had this wonderful...
Richard Arnold?
Richard Arnold, yes, who wants me to ask you about the turtle, and we'll...
About the what?
The turtle.
Oh, my turtle. our turtle.
We'll talk about that in a little bit, but he said make sure. But Richard Arnold gave me this wonderful distinction between Kirk and Picard, and I will credit him with this. He said, Kirk would say, Kirk would say, okay, I'm going to count to 3 and fire. 1, 2, fire. And Picard would say, okay, I'm going to count to 3 and fire. 1, 2, 3. Okay, look, I'm not really kidding. 4, 5, 6. Come on now, I'm serious about this. 7, 8, 9. I'm telling you guys, I don't have much patience left. God, I think that sums up the 2 characters very, very nicely. Kirk and Picard. This is quite a value. $215 for 2 of the most difficult autographs to get in the Trek universe. The 2 most recent captains. Well, I shouldn't say that. The 3rd captain of the Enterprise, and then Picard is the 7th, I believe. Anyway, the current. God, that's an easy way out.
Don't look at me, Steve. You dug your hole. You get out of it.
Current is good. The 3rd captain of the Enterprise after Captain April and Captain Pike, and the current captain of the Enterprise. That's a little tap. Ooh, I love to dance. A little
trying to
sidestep.
figure that one out. Eh?
C10 657. The plaque measures 20 by 16 inches. And boy, what great looks at these. Of course, Kirk, one of the only starship captains to ever get away with completely destroying a starship. I still think Starfleet should have made him pay for that, baby.
I do too. I'm still mad at him.
Hey, that was everybody's. Richard Arnold and I had a great debate about that because he said, "Well, he did what he had to do," and I said, "Well, yeah, but there had to be another way."
It seems to me there should have been another way.
Should have been, but
another way out.
Anyhow, so that, and of course, Captain Jean-Luc Picard, who will now, of course, this being the last year of Star Trek: The Next Generation, moving on to things on the big screen. Have you ever seen him? He every year does a one-man show.
No, I've never seen it. I understand it's excellent, though. He goes to New York and does it.
Christmas Carol,
time.
yeah.
And he does it out of UCLA sometime during the year also. He's a delightful guy.
He seems
a delightful man.
He seems it. And
Yeah.
it's funny because William Shatner did a one-man show back in '76, and I actually attended.
Oh, really?
Well, actually, I went to an episode of filming of the Mike Douglas show, which was done here in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Back in those days, and he did a wonderful version where he would speak the lyrics of songs. He did a wonderful version of the Harry Chapin tune,
yes,
Taxi.
I remember that. In fact, when he was co-hosting with Michael Douglas,
That was
Paramount called me and wanted me to surprise him from the audience.
Oh boy.
So they sent me the costume, I cut my own costume out to the house, flew me to New York, and Mike Douglas feigns injury on stage, and he asked, he had no idea I was there, building. And he asked if there's a doctor in the house. And I come running down the aisle to take care of Douglas.
Great.
Now that we were talking about memorabilia some time ago, and if you could have saved everything that you had, you know, how marvelous it would be now.
Oh, yeah.
They asked me, I had the uniform at home, and they said, Dee, do you want to keep the uniform or send it back or what? I said, no, I don't want it. And I sent the whole costume back to Paramount, which I could hang in a museum, I think, now.
Sotheby's could auction that off for some major five figures right there. But hindsight being 20/20. Right now, no hindsight involved here. It's available. Only 2,500 of these ever created. Both autographs. The autograph of Patrick Stewart and William Shatner. The, like I said, third captain and the most recent captain of the Enterprise, $215. And back after selling out the last time on the air, Majel Roddenberry's autograph plaque. Great shot of her with Gene. $79, C9772. And brand new as of tonight. Know how much fun you had playing the original Star Trek trivia game? Here's the Next Generation trivia game. Brand new as of tonight, $36. Over 1,800 communicator pins have been ordered. The phone lines remain busy. There's room for your call, but keep in mind, last night at the introductory price. And as long as you're getting that one, why not pick one up that's brand new as of tonight? And just like the original soundboard pin, also a QVC exclusive. This is from the episode of The Next Generation, Future Imperfect, where Riker is put into a dreamlike state by a telepath and believes he's the captain of the Enterprise in the future. This is the new Starfleet symbol. In fact, let me put them side by side so you get an idea here how it has evolved. Interesting story as to how the Next Generation pin evolved, one we've talked about on the air a few times. You know, in the Star Trek mythos, by the way, there's the original, and there's the future one. It also makes that wonderful wonderful sound. And now I have a rare earth magnet somewhere halfway down the cellulite here.
You're having big problems tonight, aren't you?
Just a couple. Just that's the fun of live TV.
Well, at least you've got a couple.
Anyway, brand new J21 418. It's $29.96. Chance for you to, like I said, to get a complete. You're fine. A complete match set. As we go back to the phone lines again, and say hi. Welcome to QVC. You're on the air with DeForest Kelley.
Yeah, how you doing? My name's Dale Persh from Festus, Missouri.
Hi, Dale.
Hi,
yeah,
Dale.
how you doing, Mr. Kelley?
I'm fine. Thank you.
I just wanted to say thank you for the shows, you know, and everything, because it shows that we do have a bright future ahead of us. I'm a corrections officer out here in Missouri, so I get to see the negative side of life, and Star Trek kind of gives me, you know, a little bit of inspiration.
Well, that's nice to hear. I receive a lot of mail with expressing your sentiments, and it's a lovely thing for an actor. You know, I've done a lot. I've been in this business for around 40 years or more, and there are very few actors or people associated with any kind of film, television or motion picture film, that can carry away with them something that has inspired people or has inspired the youth of this country, which Star Trek has, to make them feel better about this future. And hearing it again from your voice is a very lovely thing.
Thank you.
I bet it is. Dale, what have you treated yourself to tonight?
Oh, of course, the tricorder.
Oh, yeah. Boy, that has been so popular. Craig Adler, my producer tonight. Craig, how many of those ordered so far? We'll double check that. There it is. Boy, that... Dale, I'm with you. It's going to sell out before I get a chance to dial in for one tonight, but we'll be getting it back once it does. I could see my... Actually, it is last call right now. We're down to our last really handful of those, but that's going to be fun. That really is going to be fun. Are you just going to use it as a collectible, or maybe...
Well, I'm still a little kid in heart, so I play around with that stuff.
You and me both. I'd probably wear it. I mean, you know, if somebody say, "Is that a beeper?" You know, say, "Well, no, it's my tricorder," and then just drop it. Don't.
Sure.
You know, just my tri.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
My wife wouldn't let me be seen out in public.
Well, enjoy it, and Dale. Thank you for being on the air with us.
Thank you both.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Our brand new Future Imperfect soundboard pin, a QVC exclusive, makes that official Star Trek sound from the Next Generation. In fact, that's the sound it will make, and you just simply have to tap it. Same kind of magnet backing that the other pin has. It's $29.96. Was that a wrap, or do I? Oh, no.
No.
No, it wasn't a wrap yet. I thought, well, I pretty much had said all I wanted to say about that. Yeah. No, it is brand new as of this evening. At a chance, I think, like I said, I'm seeing more and more people who just wear these things, the soundboard, and I imagine now with the new future soundboard pin, they'll wear them because they're conversation pieces and they're good-looking adornments. I mean, it just looks good on a jacket lapel.
Sure.
By the way, the Bajoran ear cuff is, for the second time in a row, completely sold out. Thanks for your calls on that. And the tricorder is following close behind it right now. Just very nicely done, both of them done.
Yeah, there's no reason why a man shouldn't wear a pin.
I think it's kind of fun. I think
yeah,
it's kind of...
see, I have one here.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
That's very nice.
Yeah, glad you like it. But why not, you know?
Well, that's it.
Well,
that's it. It gives you a chance. I mean, something on your lapel. And something, so many times people in a strange situation, and I'm sure this is something you're no stranger to, you go into a party where maybe you only know 2 or 3 people at the party, and you want to kind of fit in, but it's kind of tough to kick off a conversation. You wear something like this.
You'll do it.
People will start talking to you.
I was doing a Western in Arizona, and one of the stuntmen came in, and he had a silver bird on his shirt, such as yours. And I was quite fascinated with it, so I went out and I bought a silver Roadrunner, which I wear on a shirt like that. You know, and it always creates a lot of talk. People say, "Where'd you get that?"
I would bet, yeah.
Yeah.
And a real nice way to break the ice, as this is. Hi, welcome to QVC. You're on the air with DeForest Kelley.
We're on the air.
Hi, Steve. This is Stephanie. I'm calling from McGuire Air Force Base in New Jersey.
Stephanie?
Yes.
Hi, good to have you on the air.
Hi, DeForest. How you doing?
I'm doing wonderful, Stephanie. Thank you.
This is great. I can't believe I'm talking to you. The last time I talked to you, I was 13.
Really?
And I met you at the Statler Hilton in New York for a convention.
Well, that is a long time ago.
Well, yeah, 17 years ago, so I'm really excited.
Oh, my gosh.
That might have been the first Star Trek convention that I attended.
Wow,
76.
it was
Wait
a
a
long
minute,
time ago.
76 or 74. Somewhere.
Yeah, it was fantastic, and I can't believe I got to talk to you again. I ordered your plaque. I couldn't wait.
Well, good for you. I recall at one of the Hiltons, one of the things I attended there, they expected something like 400 or 500 people. They'd had a convention earlier. And when I got there, they were sold out. There was somewhere around 5,000 or 10,000 people showed up, and they were letting them in increments. So it was the beginning of a lot of big conventions.
Yeah.
They don't do that anymore, though.
All right, well, I was so glad that my dad took me there for my 13th birthday. I haven't been able to get to one since, but what I really wanted to say to you was that the first time I saw you, I believe it was on The Lone Ranger. Were you on that show?
I certainly was.
Okay.
Yes, indeed.
And I remember I was just starting to watch Star Trek at the time, and I saw you on The Lone Ranger, and I said, well, let me give Star Trek another try, because I really liked your performance on that. And the one thing that I haven't been able to see was Fear in the Night. I haven't seen this movie yet.
You haven't seen that?
No, and I heard you were fantastic in it.
That was the first film that I made for Paramount. And it was, I made it for they had a B company there then. And so they put me in, it was actually from a novel by William Irish called Fear in the Night. And we made this film. We made that film in 13 or 14 days.
Wow.
Oh my
and it
gosh.
opened on a double bill with an Alan Ladd picture in downtown Los Angeles. And it got hot, and they brought it up to Hollywood. And it turned into a sleeper and created a lot of talk at the time. This is my first time out, Paramount.
Well,
I started at Paramount, and it looks like I'm going to end up there.
Well, I just hope I get to see you again in the movie. I think you're fantastic. This is such a privilege for me. And I'm just glad that all the airplanes aren't calling me right now while I'm on the phone with you.
Well, thank you. I enjoyed talking to you, and I wish you a lot of luck.
Well, thank you, sir. Take care.
Stephanie, thank you now.
Thank you, Steve.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Right now, again, phone lines very busy for the Future Communicator pin. Brand new as of tonight. Well over 1,100 have been ordered. And the tricorder is completely sold out. Thanks for your calls. We'll try to get some more of those in as soon as we possibly can. Stay with us, though. A lot more Star Trek memorabilia to come with DeForest Kelley.
This is QVC.
Majel Barrett Roddenberry. Of course, you know her as first Nurse Christine Chapel, and then, of course, as Dr. Chapel. But originally, she played #1 on the first Star Trek pilot with Jeffrey Hunter. She was one of the people NBC said, nah, she's kind of, you know, she's not the type. She's not what we want for #1. But then, of course, went on to distinguish herself as Nurse Chapel with that famous crush she had on Mr. Spock. And, of course, standing next to Gene Roddenberry, a writer with such vision, and a writer who is very missed by anybody who is a fan of the Star Trek universe. This plaque sold out the first time it was on the air. It's back with us now. $79, C97, 72, each one individually numbered. And of course, Majel went on to also do a role in also a Roddenberry pilot, the Questar tapes, which I think would have made a wonderful series had it ever gotten off the ground. They made the pilot. I think NBC aired the pilot. One shot.
Was Leonard in that?
I think Leonard Nimoy might have been in that.
I don't know. It rings a bell with me. Universal,
yeah. I know Majel was. I know. Oh. I recall her being definitely in the pilot. Those of you not familiar with it, the Questar tapes concerned a robot who was left here by a future civilization who was supposed to be our savior, but he hadn't been quite completely programmed yet.
I see.
They had to, he was befriended by some scientists, and they had to try and find the rest of the Questar tapes to try and get him up to speed. But Majel's plaque, like I said, from #1 to Nurse Chapel to, what kind of a nurse was Nurse Chapel?
Lousy. Bad girl. Bad girl. No, she had some good times with Majel. She's a delightful human being, as you well know. She was here not long ago.
Yeah, she was terrific.
And she has a great sense of humor, and she's just a wonderful person. We had a lot of fun. There's an outtake that we had with the ship. You've probably seen it in the boo-boos that they show every now and then, that Roddenberry is pretty upset about, because when it happened, the ship started to rock while I grabbed her, and my hands fell in a place they shouldn't have fallen into. Roddenberry heard about it and came on the set and said, "You're fired." Right?
Oh, I've never seen that one. Oh, that's great.
He says, "You mean that's the only way you can catch somebody, particularly my wife?"
I'd have left it in the show. I think it could have written him in as a heavy somehow. But this is a nice photograph.
That is a lovely photograph.
By the way, the Live Long and Prosper pin is completely sold out. Thanks for your calls on that, and we head back to the phones and say hi. You're on the air with DeForest Kelley.
Hi, my name is Linda. I'm from Elk Grove Village, Illinois, and I saw Mr. Kelley last year at a convention in Mount Prospect. He was at the Sheridan Hotel.
Oh.
And it was great. My boyfriend and I went there and saw you.
Well, thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
It was my first convention, too.
Oh, it was your first?
Yeah. You know, I'm a Trekkie. My brother got me onto Star Trek when it was on before originally, and I've been one ever since.
Well, good for you.
Excellent. As a Trekkie, Linda, what's special enough in tonight's show to be yours?
Well, I got the soundboard communicator pin.
Mm-hmm.
And I got two of them, one for my boyfriend.
Well, you can stay in touch that way.
Yeah. I've got a question for Mr. Kelley.
Yes.
When you were in the first episode of The Next Generation, I had sort of like a theory why you were in that episode. Is that because you mind melded with Spock, and you sort of still had his Katra with you, so you were able to be that old?
Well, there's a possibility that that could have happened. To be honest with you, I'd never thought about it in those terms. You see, we learn from people like you. Had I known that, I could have played that aspect of it a little more strongly somewhere. But that's a very interesting thought, isn't it?
You know what? Well, there's the perfect reason, if you can work this out, for certainly your character. If the next movie is indeed going to be a Next Generation movie, the perfect reason. Linda, you may be onto something big time here.
Yeah.
This is a great idea.
Yeah.
Cool.
Get that over to Rick Berman. He'll be working on it.
I'm sure Rick's watching saying, I like that. Okay, he has Spock's Katra, and he's 137, but in human years he's only about 84 because, you know...
He's still carrying the Katra by Spock.
That's right. He has that Vulcan longevity.
Yeah, I thought too at the same time, you know, the 137. Of course, you know, it wasn't just too long ago that you were very surprised to hear about people living into their 90s.
That's true.
And they're doing that more and more today. And matter of fact, my wife had an aunt that passed away recently, and she was 102.
Wow.
So when you look that far ahead, 137 would not be unreal at all. And with the rapidity with which medical science is progressing, it wouldn't surprise me if you might live to see that.
That's true. And Chris, I guess after about 120, you start getting hate letters from Social Security.
Absolutely.
I'm sure.
That's right.
Linda, good call tonight. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Please make more movies. I loved every one of them.
Well, thank you. It was a delight talking to you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Linda.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
At the moment, very limited now, $79. C9772, Majel Barrett Roddenberry, her autograph plaque, only 2,500 ever created. Sold out the last time. It's $79. Still available is the mock turtleneck shirt, and that's Star Trek red. Now extra large is in very, very limited supply. That's C9438. And the Regula 1 pewter statue, anniversary price. If you're a pewter collector, you recognize the value here, $12.93. This is where Bauer socks can kill me. I'm really an original Trekker, and Bob is too, but Bob is much more an expert on the Next Generation than I. And this, if you love the Next Generation, here's a chance to prove your knowledge. This is done similarly to Star Trek, the trivia game, only this is all based on the Next Generation. You move around a board, you learn things about Star Trek, and of course there are thousands of questions in here. For example, and there are different levels as there are in the original Trek game. For example, why was Data comforted by the discovery of his head at an excavation site on Earth? And the answer is, and actually these are multiple choice, which is pretty good. A, he was grateful his head was found. B, he felt he was mortal, or C, he knew he had an exciting adventure ahead of him? And the answer is B on that one. And then name the episode with aliens who drain electrochemical energy from humans. That's a tribute to the William Morris Agency. No,
Yes.
that's... no, name the episode with aliens. I'm never going to work in Hollywood.
No.
I feel it coming.
I think you've had it.
Yeah. Anyway, it's Times Arrow. Times Arrow, the episode there. And then questions like, when data... This game is manufactured by Classic. They are the trading card people, so all the cards where they have those thousands of questions on are eminently collectible. So you play, you move around the board, you gain points, you learn. Think about it. You have a lot of long, cold, miserable nights coming up through the fall and the wintertime. How nice, sit in front of the fire, little Romulan ale there on the side, and just play in the game. $36 for this. It's kind of a nationwide introduction, too. Really not out in the stores yet. C10 876. Now, here's how it works. The object of the game is to seek out new life and new civilizations on an unknown number of planets and be the first one to report them to Starfleet Command. And you are the captain of your own starship, in control of your navigation, in command of your actions, and then you test your trivia knowledge. So it's kind of a strategy game and a trivia game, sort of combined.
Very interesting.
Combined. It's a fascinating concept. And the original game, I own the original game, and I've had hours and hours of fun with that. But this one all based on the Next Generation, and we head back to the phones. Say hi. You're on QVC with DeForest Kelley.
Yes, hello. My name is Dennis from Farmingville, New York. And I'd like to say hello to Steve and DeForest.
Hi, Dennis.
Hi, Dennis.
I just want to let you know that I have seen both. You know, I've grown up with the old Star Trek and the new. I've watched the new, and I like the old a lot better.
You're my kind of people.
Yeah, you got it. The new stuff, DeForest, is very complicated. I don't understand half of it. So that's why I like the old stuff. So
thank goodness, Dennis. I thought it was just me.
I've got to know you. There are two of you.
Yeah, that's true.
That's it. Listen, I also have a question, DeForest. What did you find Gene Roddenberry to be very religious? I saw a lot of the old shows that seemed to be religious in a lot of ways. You know, where they had said the sun, and you know, where the fighting on the planet, and they said the sun was coming, and it was the son of you know, the son of the Lord. And did you find him to be very religious in a lot of the shows?
You mean in the shows?
Yeah. In other words, was a lot of it based on religion?
I doubt it with Gene. Now, wait a minute. Let me get this. He could have very easily based it on religious theory of certain stories.
Right.
But Gene himself was not a deeply religious man.
Ah, I got you. Okay. Because you know, a lot of them I did pick up to be based on religious. I was just curious.
But you know, he was a very articulate man, and he was a very bright man, and I'm sure that he knew an awful lot about all kinds of religions. Right.
I got you. Very good.
Good question, Dennis. Now, dialing in for what this evening?
I got the soundboard pin, the original pin. And I'm going to, hopefully, when I get stuck and all that work, I could actually beam up somewhere. I don't know. So
we're going to work on it.
You got it.
You can go through the transporter with me. You know how I love it.
Oh.
You got it. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, DeForest, a pleasure speaking to you.
It's my pleasure.
Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Have a good night, Dennis.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
At the moment, done by the same people who do some of the most popular sports and science fiction and comic book collectible cards in the country. Star Trek, the Next Generation trivia game, brand new as of tonight, thousands of questions, a chance to match your knowledge of the Next Generation with the next guy, $36 for 2 to 4 players. They recommend it for ages 12 and up. I got to tell you, I know some 8-year-olds who could clean my clock on this game. So 12 and up, but if you have an exceptional 8-year-old, go for it. We're back with DeForest Kelley on QVC. And not only did you have great chemistry, you're all photogenic. This is the cast shot from Star Trek VI. You get 2 photo mugs at an anniversary price of $22.48. So we're talking $11.24 per mug. $22.48. You get a pair of them. With Star Trek VI, The Undiscovered Country, where I think in that film, was that the first time you pointed up Kirk's womanizing is such a harsh word, but
oh, yeah, that's, well, you've put it properly.
I think so. I think Kirk was
yes.
a ladies' captain.
At what point in the film?
You were when the shapeshifter, when Imam just hauled off and planted a big old wet one on him.
Oh yeah, he had to try to make it with everybody, it seemed like. She gave him fits, though.
I
she sure did.
Indeed.
Yeah, I'd forgotten. That's right, he did.
You finally said, I think you said
enough.
Yeah. That was wild. By the way, we had a viewer call in. I believe a gentleman named Stuart called in to give us the name of the first Doctor. The first character was we were just talking about Dr. Philip Boyce.
John Hoyt.
John Hoyt was the actor who played him, and then finally
Paul Fix.
Paul Fix played the second physician, and then of course Dr. McCoy came in. The way you played the role, it was funny because in Star Trek: The Motion Picture, when they beamed you aboard, you actually had been I guess you'd say redrafted at that point. They'd used some obscure Starfleet regulation. Right. But I always got the feeling that McCoy kind of didn't, I mean, he liked his job, but he kind of didn't want to be there.
Yeah, that was a feeling that I had tried to transmit to a certain degree, because he was there, which was never revealed actually, or they never really got into it, under rather bad circumstances. He joined out of bitterness for divorce. And as a matter of fact, they had every intention of doing an episode called Joanna, which was his daughter.
Yes.
And the idea was to bring her aboard. She comes aboard the ship, unknowing to Shatner, or Kirk even, that she was just brought on as one of the members. You know, the Army or the Navy had shipped her in there. And that Kirk was going to get a kind of a crush on her. And you know how McCoy would feel about that.
I would imagine.
But the script was never materialized, but there was great talk about it.
That's a shame, because that would have been a heck of a play, because here are
situation.
Two virtual best friends, and not only
and knowing my captain so well.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. But since it never happened.
But that's what made him interesting, you know. At least he was showing some human qualities there.
That's true.
You know, I mean, after all, you know. So I had a little respect for him in one way, but he could get out of hand on occasion.
Just a little bit.
Yes.
Just a bit. I mean, I own the complete video library. I added a couple of tapes a month when it was first released, and finally have the whole series. And someday, if I ever have a lot of time on my hands, I'm just going to fast forward through and count up the number of romantic conquests in those 73 episodes. It would be
printed on one of those trivia cards.
That's right. How many, you know, and actually, since it never materialized with Joanna, Joanna may be one of the only women in the universe that Kirk never... Yeah.
Yeah.
There was no family way to say that. $22.48, the anniversary price. Again, those anniversary prices in effect now for only about another 15 or so minutes. A great shot from The Undiscovered Country. Interesting, as you look back at the films, was any one more enjoyable or less enjoyable to make than another?
No, we had some of them, of course, if I could look back, were not too enjoyable, but it's like everything else. You kind of remember the good times, you know,
the
films that afforded you the most joy. And one, of course, was City on the Edge Forever.
Oh, that Harlan Ellison script.
Yeah, it was a great show. And there was another one called The Empath, that was done in a rather remarkable way. It was done on a huge sound stage like this, and all blacked out in black drapes.
Yes.
And the complete show was done in pinpoint lighting. like pinpoint lighting. And what we were working like we were actually working in center stage, you know, like a circle theater.
In the round.
So the whole thing was
Yes,
interestingly done from a technical point of view. And we enjoyed doing that. And a number of other, there were a lot of enjoyable shows.
Well, your role in the City on the Edge of Forever, and I think this is a fine testimonial to your dramatic ability, when you had to stop Kirk from saving Joan Collins' life, I mean, that scene was one of the most perfect television synergies I've seen, because your acting was superb, Bill Shatner's acting superb, the editing, the camera work, everything just pulled together.
It was a wonder. It was one of the most, I saw it, of course, in a screening room with no commercials at all. And it was a dynamite ending.
It is indeed. Right now, these are almost sold out. C6341, the Star Trek VI photo mugs, a pair of them for $22.48. We struck a very special deal with the folks at Playmates. They released a few 100,000 of these figurines, and they released them individually. But they individually numbered them to add to their collectability. We went to Playmates and said, we want the first 10,000, all sequentially numbered. Your odds of getting any set out there sequentially numbered are
nil.
Phenomenal, really, and truly nil. Also, your chances of getting any number below 10,000, impossible, because we have them all. You get all 7 of them, 6 members of the command crew. You get Geordi LaForge, Deanna Troi, Data, Worf, Commander Riker, Jean-Luc Picard, and a Borg. Borg going to play a very important, very crucial role in this season of The Next Generation. Because, and I've pointed this out in the past too, where Kirk showed his human side by forging romantic conquests wherever the Enterprise would go, Picard shows his human side by imposing his will on virtually everyone he encounters, kind of forgetting about the Prime Directive every once in a while. Jean-Luc Picard introduced emotion into the Borg. And the result, he thought, oh, this is great, they'll all be nice, they'll all love one another. And I think Mr. Spock would have told him, well, emotions don't always do that, and it's not going to be real pretty when the Borg come back. Each figurine is individually boxed. The numbers are on the feet, and let me just show you this with Geordi LaForge here. Right there, they're all numbered, little tag on the foot, and yours will be sequential. This particular one is 3865. 3865. All the figures are jointed, they move. Now, you can use them as toys. Quite honestly, if you want to do that, go to your toy store. Buy them individually, because that way it won't matter. You're getting a collectible, sequentially numbered set. It was a real coup for us, pardon me, to pull this off. $99 for these, a QVC exclusive. It's C7867. It's interesting, too, to see how on that first episode, the pilot episode of The Next Generation, as they were introducing the characters, and I think as a Trekkie, like all of the Trekkies, I was sitting there trying to pick out, okay, who's who, you know, who's going to be, and of course they had Beverly Crusher, who is your counterpart in the Next Generation series, and Picard. Oh, we have a sellout. Yes, the mugs are gone. Thanks. Thanks.
That's how surprised he was at that stage.
Geordi LaForge just went right over.
Boy, he sure did.
Just absolutely right over. The mugs are completely gone. So thanks for your calls.
Well, he was shocked the old generation came through like that, I guess.
That's true. That's very good.
What's happening to us?
No competition here. None whatsoever. But interestingly enough, each figurine will come with its own little goodie.
Did they see that? Did they see what happened?
They didn't see it.
Explain it.
Geordi LaForge fell over just as we made that announcement because of the shock at the popularity of
the classic series.
Of the old show and the fact that
the little guy just fell off when he said it's sold out.
Either that or he checked his contract with Roots and realized the residuals are gone, so Turner can run it all he wants now. One or the other. You have no idea. But some fascinating parallels, of course, when we all first saw Data. We said, okay, well, there's the Spock, there's the logical person, but, you know, with Spock, a character, I know, wanted to deny his emotions. Here's Geordie LaForge, who wants emotions and
can feel them.
Right, that's true. There was one episode where, and this, you want to talk about how far TV has come now.
Not particularly.
Yeah. Okay, well then we'll just go. No. To just take a look at the evolution, there was an episode, and I forget the name, but it was the one in which, was it Plato's Stepchildren where Kirk had to kiss Aurora? I believe so.
I think it was.
And that caused such an uproar.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody, the president of NBC, everybody came in and said, well, we don't know. And they,
oh, that really shook them up.
It really did. And
it
of
really
course,
did.
in one episode of the next...
It was fabulous.
It was very nicely done.
Wonderful.
One episode of The Next Generation, Geordie LaForge was asked if he could function in the bedroom, and his line was, I've been programmed with a complete line of pleasuring functions. And I thought that was kind of a nice way to handle that.
Well, you young people have a lot to look forward to.
That's true. Right now, the figurine's still available, $99. Also, the Kirk Picard plaque is still available. When you consider the value here for both autographs, Shatner and Stewart's autograph, only 2,500 of these ever created, $215. That's C10657. And the Future Communicator soundboard pin, brand new as of tonight, $29.96. Makes that official Star Trek sound. In fact, here's the one I'm wearing. We'll give makes that official sound. Over 1,300 have been ordered so far. And the Star Trek 6 Sonic Saucer. Well over half of these have been ordered. The anniversary price, $13.33. It's a wonderful little flying disc. You flip it and it makes little saucer-like sounds. Kind of sounds like the spaceship, I believe the Antares was the name of it, on Forbidden Planet. Makes that kind of sound. E5574, $13.33. Or the Bolerathon. Either the Antares, now you know I'm going to have to go home and look that up. It's one or the other.
Yes.
Well, a man who wasn't happy being an admiral, so he got himself demoted. And that scene where you confront him in, let me just turn this a little bit so you get a good view of it. I believe it was in The Wrath of Khan, where you give him the Romulan ale and the glasses and tell him to get out from behind the computer console and get a command back because he's dying. You know, he's starting to feel his birthdays. Very powerful scene. This particular plaque is from Star Trek V, The Final Frontier, limited to only 2,500 pieces, signed by William Shatner, and measuring in at about, I think these are about 13 by 15, if I'm not mistaken. Done on that wood background that's been a bit marbleized. The Enterprise has evolved so much as well. I've read accounts that in that first season, you had problems walking on the bridge because of the noise.
Yeah, well, we did, but they were futuristic enough to finally find an answer to it. But it's amazing, you know, when I look at The Next Generation, you know, the difference in the two shows. And we were fighting for everything during that show.
The budget
was a different day.
It was indeed.
And even with what we did, we were classed at that time as one of the most expensive shows on television.
Yes.
But of course,
first pilot cost $640,000.
There was an enormous amount of money then, an enormous amount of money.
And now that's a sitcom.
No, and the episodes were running somewhere like $175,000 to $185,000. That was then an enormous amount of money.
That truly was.
They were very afraid of it.
It's funny too, though. You could see there was a time when you really were trying to maximize the props, and you'd see things different times called different things down the line. Of course, now if the show hadn't become a phenomenon, people like me wouldn't have noticed that. But you see the show 15, 16 times, you go, wait a minute, isn't that book the same one from A Piece of the Action?
Yeah, that's right.
That kind of thing.
Reuse.
Right now, the William Shatner Captain Kirk autograph plaque, $125. One of the, I think, finest collections of videos we've done, and a good value point here. $69 for the first 5 movies. They're in this collector's case, and when you put all 5 together, it forms the picture of the Enterprise. These are all the complete uncut movies. In fact, Star Trek the Motion Picture has some previously never seen footage dropped back into it, stuff they cut for the theatrical release. Easy pay, 3 payments of $23, and sit back, relax, and enjoy a little bit of this with us, won't you please?
Well, for a man who swore he'd never return to Starfleet.
Just a moment, Captain, sir. I'll explain what happened. Your revered Admiral Nagura invoked a little-known, seldom-used reserve activation clause. In simpler language, Captain, they drafted me.
They didn't.
This was your idea. This was your idea, wasn't it?
Bones is a thing out there.
Why is any object we don't understand always called a thing?
Headed this way. I need you. Damn it, Bones. I need you. Badly.
Permission to come aboard?
Permission granted, sir.
Well, Jim, I hear Chapel's an MD now. Well, I'm going to need a top nurse, not a doctor who'll argue every little diagnosis with me. And they probably redesigned the whole sick bay, too. I know engineers, they love to tinker.
Oh, boy. Is that... I know engineers, they love to tinker.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah.
That... Your original career, you began in Atlanta as a singer.
Well, I was a kid singer. My father was a minister, and I used to do a lot of singing in church, and then I ended up on an old radio program in Atlanta, and then...
Station's still there, WSB.
Yeah, WSB, yeah. I sometimes wonder if I shouldn't have stayed with it, the money those rock stars are getting today.
I don't know, I think a lot of us will agree it was a fine choice, because when you look at that clip from the film, oh, by the way, the Romulan warbird pewter statue is $35.50. We're talking about that right now. C10 025, made in the USA. Of course, the Romulans, that race that, in fact, let me just slide this over to the side here.
That's a beautiful ship.
Isn't that nicely done?
Yeah.
Of course, that's the kind of the updated warbird. You first encountered them in first season. It was Mark Leonard's first.
Was it Mark's first show?
His first appearance as he was the Romulan captain.
Is this the ship from? That's from.
No, this is from later. Yes, this is from later. This is a later design of the warbird. But of course, the Romulans, the folks who developed the cloaking device, and that was such a powerful episode, wasn't that the one in which you said, you know, in all the universe there are, 1,000 systems that can provide human-like life, and on those 1,000 planets.
Right. Yeah. That was a wonderful speech, wasn't it?
That was great. That was a good
And only
monologue.
one of you.
And don't destroy.
He was having a talk with Kirk, is he?
Yeah.
Trying to set him straight on something.
And the last line is, "And don't destroy the one called Kirk."
Yeah. Yeah.
It was either in that one or in the one with the Tholian, not the Tholian, the one where Ronnie Howard's little brother played the menacing alien.
Oh yes, yeah.
Was it one of those two episodes? I'm terrible.
I remember.
On episode
Me
names.
too. It was I remember it was a wonderful bit of dialogue.
It was. It was nicely done. But the reason I I bring up your background is your timing as an actor. I mean, the scene we just saw where you played against Kirk, and that pause. I mean, it's just so natural for you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You're welcome, and that's sincerely meant. I'm sure I speak for Trek fans the country over. I mean, your skill, all of your skills as actors and actresses are one of the things that has kept that mythos alive.
Well, I appreciate it. That's awfully nice to hear. That'll give me enough energy to get back to the hotel.
Very good. And as we contemplate that, let's head over to the QVC Lucky Number Machine with Sherry this time.
A new 4-digit lucky number is drawn every hour on the QVC cable shopping channel. Every time that number matches either the first 4 digits or the last 4 digits of your QVC membership number, and you notify us by phone that you have a match before the next lucky number is drawn, your QVC account will be credited with 10 shopper dollars, and you will also be automatically entered in all 5 of the next day's $1,000 QVC shopping spree drawings. If you don't already have a membership number, get yours now. It's completely free, no purchase necessary, and there's absolutely no obligation. Just call toll-free 1-800-345-1515, and a QVC membership number will be assigned to you on the phone.
Current QVC lucky number 0452, 0452. As we check out the Romulan Warbird pewter statue, $35.50. We've had a lot of sellouts along the way. Let's do this. For your convenience at home, we'll go through everything still available in the show and then say our farewells to DeForest Kelley. In fact, DeForest Kelley's plaque, I'm telling you, DeForest has such a schedule that we don't know when he'll be coming back. What a banner time to pick up his plaque when he's sitting right here on the air live with all of us. $117. That's C8891. Only 2,500 ever created. The Star Trek soundboard communicator pin. Over 2,500 ordered. This is it. Last call at the introductory price. Come midnight tonight, that will go back to the QVC price. So a much better value right now. $28.57. That's J16144. And only a few remain of the USS Reliant pewter statue. $17.33. That's C9437. Autographed by Michael Jan Friedman and Peter Krause, the Next Generation number 50 comic, QVC price $23. That is C10841. For 2 autographs, only 5,000 copies ever released. Large only in the mock turtleneck shirt, $22.42. That's C9438. Also, quite a buy in the world of pewter collectibles, the Regular One pewter statue, $12.93, C9445. And I think a striking bit of collectible memorabilia, only 2,500 ever created, $215 for C10657, the Kirk Picard autograph plaque. And the future communicator soundboard pin makes the same sound. Over 1,400 ordered, brand new tonight, a QVC exclusive, as is the original soundboard pin, $29.96. A real treasure. The original 7 command crew of the original Enterprise. $495 for the 7 autographs. You do some division there, that breaks down to quite a value on an autograph plaque. That's C5166. Still available, also an excellent price, $79 for Majel Barrett Roddenberry's autograph on this plaque with the father of Star Trek, Gene Roddenberry. That's C9772, only 2,500 of those ever produced. Over 700 people have dialed in for the Next Generation trivia game. This is fun. $36, you already have, I have the original Trek game. It's fun, maybe you've kind of worn the questions out on that. Here are thousands more, all based on the Next Generation. $36, that's C10876. Wonder if there are any Earl Grey questions in there, little Picard point. C7867, the numbered figurine set, $99. We have the first 10,000, and they're sequential. You won't find them anywhere else except right here on QVC. And a handful of our sonic saucers remain, $13.33. That's E5574. along with the autographed limited edition Captain Kirk plaque, $125, signed by William Shatner, only 2,500 created. That's C5865. And the Star Trek Collector's Videos, $69, E6660. Very popular. Think about it. You're getting all 5 movies, the first 5 films uncut, and all the original footage added back into Star Trek the Motion Picture. $70 for all 5 of them. What a great Christmas gift in that collector's box. That breaks down to $13.80 a piece. You couldn't get them at the video store for anywhere near that, buying them singularly. And the Romulan Warbird pewter statue, $35.50. That is C10025. Standing just about 2 1/4 inches tall. And brand new tonight, we didn't get a close look at it. Only a few of these remain. That is a fine crystal paperweight. $70. It stands a little over 3 1/2 inches tall. Has the United Federation of Planets symbol etched right into the crystal, C7926. The most popular episodes of Star Trek The Next Generation. Check with the customer representatives to see which ones are available. $14.50 for E6993. Star Trek The Next Generation, the uncut sheets, $35.50. That's C10885. And that's it. You get both uncut sheets. That's a complete Skybox collectible card set. As we say farewell and thank you. Thank you so much, DeForest.
It's my pleasure, Steve. I enjoyed being with you.
Great to have you here. I hope we can have you back.
Well, thank you. I've enjoyed every minute of it, and it's been interesting to watch you work and know that you're such a lover of Star Trek. You can seemingly sell this stuff with heart.
Well, thank you. Thank you. That's one of the nicest things any guest has ever said to me. Thank you, DeForest. Appreciate that. And thank you so much for watching and shopping with QVC. Remember, 10 o'clock tonight, collectible teddy bears with Mary Beth Rowe, and our next Star Trek special, I'm Glad You Asked. Look for our next late-night journey into the Star Trek universe, when we'll bring you a 2-hour edition late Thursday, September the 23rd at 1 a.m. Eastern, 10 p.m. Pacific time. Look for us then. And as always, live long and prosper.
Very nicely done.
Thank you.
This is QVC.
Your skin is one of your most precious beauty resources, but it needs proper care to keep it soft and beautiful. QVC and Yves Rocher understand that.